I'm here with Kalle Coster of Sailmon at the RYA Dinghy Show 2020, where they have the MAX device, which is really an all-in-one device for your tactics on board and then analysis afterwards. Now, first of all, can you tell me how you fit this to the boat initially?
Well, it's very simple. On the back of the device is a slide. You can slide it on, and it can't fall out because it's a slider. With a press of a button, it will come out. On top of that, there's a second connection, which is a GoPro mount, so it can use any standard GoPro mount or camera mounts. I don't think we can call them GoPro mounts, and fit the device anywhere, so you can trial the right position as well.
And once it's on board, the first thing people are going to use it for, I guess, is the start. And so is this a case of just pinging the ends of the line and it tells you time and distance?
Yeah, correct. So if you ping the line, it will then obviously know the line, and it can tell you the bias of the line. So we'll just add 90 degrees, so we'll tell you which wind direction the line is laid to, as well as whether you're early or late. And it will also tell you at current speed where you will be at the gun.
So straight away people will know from that information which side the bias is and get their timings right, and their starts straight away from the go. Great.
Exactly. And afterwards all MAX devices will be compared with each other, so you know how you've done compared with your friends and competitors.
Now, going up the beat, you've got the tactics going on, and you've got the wind shifts the entire time. How can it help you there?
Well, there's a couple of things. You can set the wind direction, so it will give you a plus and a minus. There's a couple of things we will add over time, but it will help you with heel angles, so it can tell you whether you're on the right heel angle. Boat speed, obviously, will give you the right boat speed, and heading, it can tell you whether you are on a lift or a header. We are working on adding polars in one of the first software releases, so it's going to be quite exciting as well.
That's one of the things about this. It's not a static device. You don't just buy it off the shelf and that's the feature set complete straight away. You're adding features all the time.
Well, we actually have a roadmap for about 1.5 years already completely planned. We first released the product completely working, but like with minimum functionality, and people will get new functions every few weeks. And as it is a connected device to the internet, they will automatically come, and you will just get them.
The shifts upwind, quite a few people can just see them anyway, but it's those shifts downwind where it becomes really, really key, especially with asymmetric boats. How can it help you there?
Well, once you have your polar set in and you have your course set in, it will just give you a plus or a minus, where a plus is good and a minus is not good. And it will help you to guide you along to see whether you're on the right tack or not.
And this is the thing, you want a really simple display of what you need to be doing tactically while you're racing, because your eyes are around all over the boat and all over the race course, and so this plus minus system just makes it really simple to see what you should be doing.
Yeah, and that's what it's all about. We started with some more difficult concepts, and as we went along we really tried to make it as simple as possible, because I'm a sailor myself, and I'm used to difficult data on big boats, but when I'm on my moth I really just want to have simple data and keep it simple stupid.
Yeah, you've got enough going on a moth, and the last thing you need to be doing is looking inside the boat.
Exactly.
Now, where things get really interesting, you come ashore and then you can do your analysis of what you've done on the water and compare it to other sailors using MAX devices. That is something that really must excite you.
Yes, because that's something coming from the professional navigator side. I used to come ashore, take my files off the boat, spend 2.5 hours looking at the data. Don't really have the data from other boats. Then you go to some tracker and you have to guess a little bit and try to get that across to other team members. They don't give a shit about that stuff. Oh, sorry, pardon my French. And what we've done is, so the data is automatically uploaded to the cloud. If you're online, it's live, so other people can see it. If it's not online, it's buffering all the data on the device and sending it later. but we will do an instant analytics of that data. So we will detect a start. We will say, okay, at this start you were this much behind or over the line. All your maneuvers. We'll try to detect marks if there's multiple boats, because if 10 boats go around the corner, it's highly probable that there's a mark over there.
Now, you've got quite a background in sailing, Olympics and at all different levels. Why did you decide then to go into the instrumentation market?
Well, it's a funny question. I think when I'm writing my thesis for my study, I was already writing about the future of sailing and where it should go. And this was when YouTube was just started, and narrowcasting, we called it narrowcasting in my thesis, was a small thing. And towards the end of my Olympic campaign, I knew I wanted to do, well, I needed to make some money at some point in life. And I wanted to stay in sailing, and I wanted to become a pro sailor. And Dirk de Ridder, Cheese, he told me, well, you got to have a second skill. And I was always very busy with computers and stuff, so I thought, okay, navigation is a good idea. But in my back of my mind, I always had, like, in dinghy sailing, we were always doing everything on feel, and I wanted to make it measurable. So I started Sailmon really with building a weather pole for the Dutch Olympic team and making things measurable that way. And from that we just did big boats, super yachts, and until we got big enough and had the power to circle back to dinghies where we are today. So we can now make the device for small boats and for big boats. So that's quite exciting.
And so this really was using all the experiences you had, all that you had learnt through your education, combining it into one, and then just coming out with a device.
Yeah, and the cool thing is the way it works. Whether you have this or you have a full-blown system on a super yacht, you will get the same analytics of your day's sailing. So, and I think whether you are sailing a Optimist or a super yacht, you want to have the same sort of information to quickly have a debrief of your day's sailing. Because when you go sailing for 7 hours, you don't remember which side you went on race 2, beat 3, you don't remember. And this way you can very quickly, between 30 seconds and 2 minutes, see what you've done during the day.
Well, I've got to say the Sailmon MAX is a really exciting device, and I just love the fact that it's constantly changing, the software is constantly updating. So many thanks indeed for your time.
No worries.